Hello. I'm coming to you live from the Bazzle classroom. I am super excited to be here today. The kids are still working on their personal narratives, but as we work on the personal narratives, they're learning skills along the way. But the one thing I notice is that the kids, when they tell a story, they tell the story in like sequential order. They're not showing, they're not picking an element from that experience and then expanding on that. So I'm noticing most of the stories is like, first we did this, then we did this, you know, so it's like, I have to figure out how to develop that skill. Maybe it just comes with practice, experience, age, time. But practice makes improvement. I'll show the kids some examples today. And I know you, as parents, can sometimes become frustrated with all the zeros in a grade book. But what I'm noticing is that kids are so quick to say, is this for a grade? Is this for a grade? And it's like, if they know it's not for a grade, they don't do it. So things that we do in the class, I'm like, well, you spent the time working on that. So, you know, your bell work is going to be a grade. They get a bell worksheet on Monday, and they have a whole week to do it. Some of it, most of it we do in class. Some of it we do together. So I feel as though the bell work should be, you know, like an easy grade if you're on task. There are a lot of things that are due. Once a student stops doing the small assignments, they're all small assignments. Case in point, they had a summative exam, and from that major exam, they had 10 little revise and edit questions, just 10 questions, multiple choice, and then they had to write a paragraph, and it had to incorporate certain types of sentences. We've been studying sentence types for months now, and so some of the sentences had to be a compound, complex, so they had to include that in their story. And they wrote the story, blah, 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 but the handwriting, some of the handwriting I couldn't understand. And you have to understand with RELA, since it's a lot of writing and reading, we're in our writing phase now, it takes a little longer to grade certain things. I mean, it just does. That's RELA for you. Anybody will tell you that. English, language arts. So, I'm noticing, and then another part of the test was, type in, like days later, type in what you wrote on your test. Everybody got their test back. Just type it up and then label the different things that I was looking for. I don't think that's hard. You already did it. You're just typing it in. They had time during class. I booked the computer lab. And when I give them the time to do things during class time, if you're not using your time wisely, what can I do? So there are lots of things that I do, but the one thing, I will backpedal on this. I will. I've been noticing several parents have been trying to help their children get on track, because if you're not keeping up with the work and the packet, then it just piles up and it becomes overwhelming. And I notice sometimes they leave their papers, the responsibility of keeping up with that paper, keeping up with the assignments is just not there for a lot of the students. And I have noticed some parents trying to help, and you know, they go into Schoology and blah blah blah. I have not been putting copies of the handouts. I have not been putting them in Schoology. That's like another step. That's another step. But when they say, you know, I'm trying to help my child, but I don't see the copies, I'm like, I gave them copies. They get everything. When I hand it out, they get it. And then there's a little side table where I keep extra copies. And I bought something. Let me just show you. Just listen. Hold on. So I bought this little cute thing. I got it on sale. I was surprised. It was 50% off. So all the papers that I hand out, they were just sitting over there. I was like, that's not cute. So I bought this little box to house all the papers that I do give out in the class. I couldn't help myself. It's a little beat up and I gotta do some work to it. But I even bought this for the extra papers. But I will say that the parents are starting to get frustrated. Sometimes I get frustrated. And I will say that I'm going to try to put the copies that I hand out into Schoology. So and it'll be less stress on me because I don't have that. I gave it to you, and it interrupts my class. So what I can say, oh well, go to the library, log on the computer, print it out, because they can print, I think, up to 10 pages or so from the library. So I will try to change and add the copies that I give out, because parents who want to help and it's not there, I bet it's frustrating for you, frustrating that your child doesn't have it. I'm telling you now, every child gets a copy. Every student gets a copy. What they do with the copy, I have no idea. If it's missing, I have no idea. I promise you they get it. Everybody gets it. So I will do better and try to upload. And remember, I'm not a virtual teacher, so the stuff that I do in Schoology, I think it's extra, because I want them to have the notes. I really do it for the notes and stuff, but I see if you're absent and you have to copy, blah, blah, blah. Woo. So I will do better on that. And I want to thank all the parents who are trying to help their students. I try, but I have 150 kids, and sometimes, honestly, sometimes they're trying to submit stuff, handing stuff, ask me what they owe, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes the day is overwhelming for me as well. I really wish. So once again, if you want to volunteer and help out in class, come on down. Let me know when you're available. And so the kids, I'm just going to go down the list very quick, because, you know, I'll start talking too much, and I'm looking at the board here. They have bell work. I think now in Schoology there are about 4 bell worksheets, and I will try to upload those. I'll try to make copies. First I have to make copies of both sides, and then scan it, then go back to my classroom, and then find the scan, then upload. So it was a whole little process. So I was just like, they're just gonna get the copies, but I'm gonna do better with that to help the parents, to help the student, help me, so I don't have to say, well, you know, I could just say, go to the library, print it out. So it'll be easy for me. Right now, they should have their leads, the beginning of their stories written. They should have their endings written. Now they're going to start to work on the middle, learning how to expand on their stories, expand on sentences, include figurative language, imagery. So that seems to be somewhat of a struggle, because they just want to say first, second, third, next, last. They just give it in sequential order. There's discussion posts. The discussion post is something from the bell work. Whatever they typed in the bell work, all they had to do was type it into a discussion post. 3-4 sentences, and then reply and give feedback to 2 people. That was it. I don't think that's hard. I don't know. And then these stories are just, you know, personal stories. So I don't know, I'm trying, but I'm really proud to know that they are picking up on the grammar, the sentence types, where to place commas, and they're really picking up on that. Another teacher told me, she was like, whatever you're doing is working, because they were talking about it in class when they started doing some grammar in the class. So that really warmed my heart, and I really know that, and I've learned that you have to keep showing it to them, because they're not going to go home and study that. Most of them not, they're not. So just have to keep it spiraling, bringing it up, bring it up, bring it up. So being repetitive is the key. And as a teacher, I'm still learning. All teachers, that's why we have training, certain amount of hours of trainings that we have to accomplish every year, because it's stuff to still learn and grow, learn and learn. And if you're a teacher, honey, and there's nothing else for you to learn and grow, then it's time to retire, because there's always something new. So I am not perfect, but my heart is in the right place, and I am trying. So I will try harder with making copies available online. So if parents want to help and get their kids caught up, that'll be great too. So with that said, if there's anything you need, just feel free to call me. Sometimes I forget. Don't give up on me. Just keep calling or emailing me. Just email me. Just keep emailing me. Sometimes it does get a little overwhelming, you know, trying to keep up with everything, trying to grade. And as soon as I leave work and I go home, spend a little bit of time with my daughter. My daughter is now begging for my time, and I want to say, well, you weren't begging for my time before. So I was going back and forth to her. I'm like, but it's when you want to do it and when you're available, then it's like now. But she is asking for time with mom, so I guess that's a good thing. And this is her last year. She's a senior. And she's like, I'm going to be gone soon. So she wants mommy time. So I got to try to really focus on trying to make time for her. But honestly, weekends, I am so tired. Friday, I'm tired. Saturday, I don't like to leave the bed at all. I don't even want to go to the store. And then Sunday is when my work day starts. Then I start preparing for school, looking at my slides, making sure that's available for the kids. So anyway, that's my life story. My other daughter that's in college playing basketball, she busted her lip, but she didn't want to go get stitches playing basketball, and someone hit her in the head of the child. I'm glad she didn't lose her front teeth. And she has a big gash. Her tooth went inside her lip, and she doesn't want to get stitches, she says, because she won't be able to play. You might be riding the bench anyway because you're a freshman, so you may not be playing anyway. Take your butt to the hospital. So I don't know. And my son, I don't know if you know, I have a son. He is, I don't know if he's 19 or 20. I think he's 20 now. And he got his first apartment, and he's like, Mom, this is so hard. I'm like, hey, this is life. This is life. Welcome to the real world. You just have to make sure you budget. He was like, well, I didn't do too well. He says, you know, I didn't budget appropriately. I didn't plan. I was like, well, use this as a learning experience and learn from that. Especially when I had to co-sign on the apartment. Baby, you better keep up with that rent. All right, guys, you know, I will talk your head off. Thank you for being supportive. There's still room for me to grow and to learn. But at the end of the day, the kids need to be accountable for their learning, for their growth. And I was getting frustrated because, you know, I want them to learn and grow. And then when I get resistance, it gets frustrating for me as a teacher, and I'm quite sure for you as a parent as well, because I've been there, but it was with my son, but I stayed on him, and I just worked with it. I never blamed a teacher ever, because I knew what I was working with my son. But we made it through. Once we got through high school, he is in community college in College Station. I think he's going to Blinn. He says he's taking online classes at Blinn, and he works at HEV. So I'm glad that it took him a while to grow up. It really did. So hang in there. If you're going through stuff, trust me, they outgrow it. They outgrow it, and it does get easier. So with that said, I've talked your ear off. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, morning, afternoon, whatever it is for you. And know that I love your children, and they're going to be in a safe place here. And I adore them, even the ones who are around. They're really, really sweet kids. I don't have any disrespectful, rude. No, I don't have that. And one little boy, I was like, he's starting to warm up to me. He's like, can I sit next to you, Miss Bazzle? They all like to sit at my small group table. And so, you know, I'm trying to be patient, and I pray for that strength, that patience, the knowledge, the wisdom, the encouragement that I could give them. And some days I'm frustrated. I'm like, dude, you know, this is due. We can't move on. You can't move on until you get these things done, because it builds on top of each other, because we're writing this great story. Okay, I feel myself talking too much. Okay. Bye, y'all.